I do believe we're live and a little early. And let me just wait for some people to join me here. I don't have in my headset, so I might put that in. But um, when you come back to this, I will definitely let you know everything that you need to know. Tell me how my audio is in terms of how you're hearing me. But yeah, so fun facts. Fun fact. So I did not know that when you're live streaming on your laptop that you needed a download. So my passwords are all over the place. But yeah, so this is my first time. Just be patient with me, and I'm just gonna wait a bit for some people to jump on the live. Right, so let's get into it. It's almost 7 o'clock, and I have the chat enabled. Right, so hello friends, hello professionals, welcome to my channel, The Sea of Regulation. My name is Simone Martin, and I am here today on a live to do something that's a bit different. I am announcing another facet of my business. Now, some of you would have seen from the icon that I have a phoenix. That's what it is. And some of you, if you know me, you will know that I have identified myself with the phoenix for a number of years, for over 10 years actually, because I've been through the fire. But the phoenix is a symbol of rebirth, renewal, new things. It's a beautiful animal. Some would say, well, it's mythological, so why are you even bothering with that? But it does mean a lot to me. It means that even when things get to their absolute worst, there's always a bright way to get out onto the other side. And that is one of the things that I think is really important for anybody in this life, because life can be hard, but especially so for compliance professionals. Tonight, I am announcing my pre-launch of a membership that's designed for compliance professionals. So if you identify as a compliance officer, if you identify as a compliance administrator, if you're a director in financial services, any of those things, you will be able to benefit from the membership. It's not free, but the price, there's going to be a number of things that are put out to alert you to pricing, but it's going to be very cheap because I don't want to price people out of being able to benefit from it. And why a membership? I have to say, first of all, that I have been fortunate to have a lot of fabulous experiences as a financial services regulator. I have been able to meet so many professionals on both sides of the divide, both regulators and people in the industry, but also law enforcement agencies. There's a lot of overlap with that. Policymakers. I've had a lot of opportunities to work with international standard setters, FATF and GIFCS. Not a shameless plug for my video on international standard setters, but feel free to check that out. And I've had so many opportunities to actually be enriched from those individuals. But one of the things that I think in my career that has been profound is that people honestly try to get compliance right. And it is a moving target because international standards change, local laws change, and oftentimes people are wanting to get a bit more clarity. There's that regulatory clarity that comes up from their regulator in terms of, well, what to do and how to do it. No, regulators can't tell you exactly what to do because, then we'd be in the catch-22. If we tell you exactly what to do, then we're kind of, on the hook that it would be the regulator said to do X, and if something goes wrong with X, then it's the regulator's fault. So that's why regulators can be a bit cagey. And of course, it's really important to get some sort of clarity on how to get compliance right. But the dialogue sometimes can't be there between the regulator and the regulated. Now, I've had the opportunities, I've been blessed to be able to speak at conferences. I have been blessed to teach people courses in compliance. Some of those courses were International Compliance Association courses. I taught an odd course or two, I think, with ICSA. And prior to that, I was adjunct faculty with a college, a local community college. This was years ago. And so I have the teaching background, and I found that I had an affinity for that. But conferences and in the classroom setting for the compliance topics, I think that was one of the things that really enriched me the most. Having the discussions after presenting on a topical issue, right? So after the storms, I remember that from a compliance aid conference. That was the full set of papers. More recently, you had the panorama papers. So you had the papers. And people were concerned about the survival of financial services in different jurisdictions, where the regulators side, different things. And the conversations that happened after the presentations and on the margins of the conferences, to me, was so stimulating. The conversations that happened when I was engaging with other compliance professionals who were taking a course in compliance or AML or GRC, again, those conversations were so enriching. And I learned as well, it wasn't just a one-way street. And there wasn't a platform for that discussion to keep going. I felt like that was something that could be done. And hey, let me do it. I looked around and I didn't see anyone doing it. So I said, well, why not? And so I had the idea from 2018 to have a membership forum for compliance professionals. If people know me and know me genuinely, I want to help. I'm always wanting to help. Do I know everything? Definitely not. If you know everything, this is not the membership for you. But if you are willing to engage, you want a platform to engage in with your fellow compliance professionals and a regulator that is not shy to give you her views on what she thinks might be going on, then definitely check this out. What's the platform? It's being built, and it's going to be alongside my online courses. So I have 2 online courses. One is in relation to due diligence, because everyone knows what to do in terms of due diligence, or you would think so. But based on my experience and what I've seen in relation to applied due diligence, they don't necessarily get it right. So that was the first thing, the first course that I did, due diligence and getting it right. The second course is basically in relation to on-site inspections, because on-site inspections, I'm in a position when I'm across the table sometimes with the regulated, so directors, compliance officers, senior managers, and I'm administering the test. I can't tell you, don't say that. Or when I hear something, I'll hold back that cringe and be like, I wouldn't necessarily say that, or I would have gone from a different perspective, but from that particular perspective, I can't help you at that point in time. And sometimes people would have that adversarial position because, they're being inspected by the regulator. And I get it. I completely get it. Your jobs are on the line. It's important for you to be compliant. You want to make sure you're doing this right. And this is basically a test to see whether you've been doing it right. And sometimes you're not. And it's not for lack of trying. I want to help with all of that. Now, the membership, and take a sip of water here. Oh, thank you for the comment there, Henry. The membership is going to be built out to allow for forum topics. So we're going to have different topics we go over. There are going to be tools and different things that you can take away, micro trainings. So if we want to triage, say, simplified due diligence or looking at a manual, how to develop or review your manual, how to address your minds to sanctions, a number of topics. I've already worked on building that out. I have at least 8-9 months of content already in relation to just the membership site to make sure that it is really high value. And beyond that, because of the network that I have, I would be inviting a number of professionals from around the world on calls, and that would only be available to members. Now, compliance officers work hard, incredibly hard. They have some of the hardest jobs on the planet, but so do regulators. And I think that I can do if I could just help like one person really get their compliance game to, you have those questions, you want to feel empowered when you speak to the regulator, you want to know what is proper, what is not, those are the things that I'm hoping to help with so that you are definitely more confident in relation to what you're doing in your job. It is demanding. The tides are shifting all the time. So a number of things, a number of questions you might have. The name, Chasing Compliance. Now, if you know me, you would know that I'm a sci-fi fan. Live long and prosper. Big time Trekkie, big time Trekkie. I also like a little Battlestar Galactica. There's a reference in a few of my videos about Cylons and what have you. But chasing compliance to me is akin to chasing the speed of light. If we can you attain either one? Can you attain 100% compliance in everything? I think it is equivalent to attaining the speed of light. Can it be done? I don't know. Now, you don't know whether these things can be done unless you try. So that's part of this. Let's try to accomplish something that might be seemingly an unattainable goal. I think it is doable to have the best compliance you can, but you also need to know how to articulate that in relation to what you actually bring to the table when you're engaging with your board or when you're engaging with other compliance professionals or when you're engaging with the regulator, especially the regulator, because there are certain things that I will tell you not to say to your regulator. And if you're a regulator watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's some cringeworthy moments, and it's not because we want to see people squirm. At least good regulators do not want to see people squirm. I want you to bring your A game to a regulator, and the regulator equally will bring their A game to you. So that is a bit of context. Now, what else can I say in relation to the membership, other than I'm excited? More information will be posted. So I have a few platforms. Under my existing videos on YouTube, I have my Twitter handle, my Twitter account link. I have my LinkedIn profile, and I'm also on Facebook. If you're a friend with me on Facebook, you would be able to find me. I will be posting more information there in relation to how you can join as a compliance professional to the membership. But beyond just joining, you know, people will want to know, well, what do I get out of this? You know, do I just throw a couple dollars and hope for the best? No, it's actually going to be a bit structured so that you're not overwhelmed, because never have I ever heard a compliance officer say they don't have enough work to do. I've never heard that. And I've also never heard it from a regulator. So you want to manage it, but what I aim to do is to give the most concise and usable information for whatever that topic is, quicker than it takes you to read a compliance manual. That's one of the objectives. The next objective is to make sure that there's a forum where people can speak freely and ask questions. So there'll be discussion topics and you'll be able to engage with other compliance professionals and me. I will not be ghosting anyone. I will be there. I will be active. I will be engaged. What else do you get? Well, members would get discounts to existing IGNIS products and future IGNIS products. And you might have a question in relation to my course writing ability in the BVI where I'm from. If you're watching this and you have no clue as to who I am, after this live is over, it'll be posted on my channel. I am from the British Virgin Islands. I am, now this week is 20 years a regulator. And I've worked in a number of sectors, including AML CFT, fiduciary, investments, insurance. I've done a lot. It's not necessarily a bad thing to be passed around when you're a regulator. It gives you a dynamic set of experiences for which I'm grateful. But what it really boils down to in terms of communicating, because you can know a lot of things, but sometimes it may be difficult to teach people. And I think I've had successes at that. Many persons may have been familiar, if you're in the BVI and you're in financial services, you may be familiar with the masterclass that was run by the FSI. I actually wrote quietly 3 of the modules. So if you've taken that course, if you've heard of that course, I was the actual author of 3 out of 4 of the modules. And that gave me the confidence to go further. I thought I could do it from before, but sometimes you just need an opportunity. And the opportunity, I think, is incredibly important. So what next? We have the live, my first live. It's definitely not my last live. I am learning as I go. This is definitely a bit of an adventure for me. I am looking forward to engaging with a number of professionals. I have a whole write-up in terms of how to do this live and everything else, but sometimes you just got to dive in, and the sea of regulation, you know, so a lot of analogies to the water, and I'm definitely taking a dive in, and I'm committed to the membership for the foreseeable future. Like I said, I have about 8-9 months of content, but take a sip of water. I see you liking, thumbs up. Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone who has subscribed thus far. If you know, after this live is finished, feel free to share it, or share it now, but share it with your colleagues who you think who would find some benefit for this. Thank you so much for the support. I am incredibly grateful to the support team. And let me just say, so those that know me know that I'm currently in Anguilla. And some of that support is a company called Pink Mako. And the team that Maury has is amazing. Maury and Christoph make sure that I am flawless every time that I'm recording those YouTube videos. And I can't thank them enough for just accommodating me at some crazy times sometimes. So I just wanted to get that in there. Pink Mako in Anguilla. Even if you're not in Anguilla, look them up. They have a very visible social media presence. I will put their information in a comment after this live so that you can find them. And I see the comments. The live chat is new to me as well. So I see the comments. Thank you so much for that comment. That is the purpose of the videos, the YouTube videos, to help people understand and learn about compliance and financial services. And this is another thing that I think is important. Far too often, people use information as a weapon. They hoard it and they don't share it. And I have never been for that. I feel that if you know something, and I mean, this might not apply for every single case, but in relation to regulation, if you know something, you should share it. You shouldn't have it as this esoteric bit of information to use and lord over people. Share the information, because guess what? The world is changing every single day. And people are going to have access to that information. And no, never before have people have access to the information that they do as of now. Why not share that so that you can move on and they can move on? There are a few things in relation to memberships that I think is important. A commitment to the people who come into the membership. You know, they have certain expectations. And we all have memberships in our lives of some sort, like, you know, Netflix or somebody's Netflix. And I'm not advocating for that, but people have different memberships that they subscribe to, things that they're interested in. And it might be strange, but I do have a passion for compliance. And I've seen the good that compliance can do. In a little story time. Compliance goes far beyond money laundering and terrorist financing, just on the face of it. You're looking for financial crimes and different crimes. And one of the things that I'm seeing in the Caribbean, especially with the global circumstances, is that you have a lot of attacks, cyber attacks, very much in the fintech space. You're seeing people being targeted, not to be swindled out of their money, but young people being targeted by human traffickers, trying to get them to come, you know, to the US or some other place where chances are they're connected to some sort of sex trafficking or worse. And we need to protect our young people. We need to build the capacity, but the compliance, the role of compliance goes so much further than just getting due diligence, getting a utility bill. It goes beyond that. There's a lot of good that good compliance actually can achieve. And in the membership, those are some of the things that will be discussed. I'll discuss them on my channel too, because I recognize not everyone will jump into the membership. You know, you might be at a different place in terms of your compliance journey. But if you are in financial services and you're definitely curious about compliance on another level and engaging with your fellow professionals, I would definitely invite you to join. I don't know what else to say at this point, but I will be doing another live at some point in time. I'll give a little more notice. Tonight was being planned and delayed, but sometimes you just have to dive in. And so that's what happened tonight. So I dived in. I've done it, guys. Thank you for those who joined me. Thank you for those who've subscribed. Thank you, a huge thank you to all of my supporters. And definitely, I'm going to keep the videos coming. Thank you to corporate. I see that comment there in the live chat. And I am just looking forward to the next chapter because it is going to be awesome. I am definitely bringing some amazing content in that membership and also to YouTube. So until my next live, I am going to see you on the next one. Bye.